Signing your first few clients as a freelancer or a new digital agency is always the hardest and the most challenging. And the reason for this is obvious. It's because you don't have any testimonials or reputation. So the client has the choice of choosing another freelancer or a digital agency who has hundreds or potentially thousands of different testimonials, or taking a risk on you, the unknown quantity, where they just don't know whether they're going to get great results or whether they're going to waste their time and money. And even if you're only charging a very low rate, so $5, $6, $8, or $9 or $10, it is still very, very challenging to land that first client. And the reason for that is because you can take a very quick search on a site like Upwork and you can see that there are hundreds of different freelancers or digital agencies who are playing at that bottom of the level rates where they're charging just a couple of dollars, and they've also got hundreds of different high quality testimonials. So when you look at it from the client's point of view, it's quite an easy decision. Rather than going with you, an unknown quantity where they just are taking a risk, or they can go with another person who's got hundreds of different testimonials, and it just gives them that extra little bit of peace of mind. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the exact process that you need to put in place so that you can overcome those obstacles and challenges and sign your first client in 2023. Now, I do want to stress that I am going to be focusing on signing new Google Ads clients, but this same process can be used for anything in the digital marketing space or even web design. But before I take you through this step-by-step process, just in case we haven't met yet, my name is Aaron Young. I'm from Define Digital Academy and I'm your 15,000 hour Google Ads master. And the reason for why I know that this process works is because I've been successfully signing up new clients since 2010 when I started in Google Ads. And nowadays I'm signing clients who are spending up to and over $20,000 a month in management fees just for Google Ads services alone. Now, the first thing that you need to understand with signing new clients, especially your first few clients, is that it is very much a numbers game. And at the start of your career, those numbers are very much stacked against you. Now, for me, over the past 12 months, I've had success in closing well over 85% of all of the presentations I've given. But even though over the last 12 months I've had a very high conversion rate, I deeply remember the frustrations of those early days where I was lucky to sign 1 or 2 clients a month with a conversion rate of somewhere between 1 to 2%. So for every 100 proposals I was giving, I was only signing 1 or 2 clients. Now, year on year, that has changed. And as I said, over the past 12 months, my conversion rates are now above 85%. And the main difference in that is that I now have a much better reputation and level of testimonial. So when I get to that proposal and also that closing stage, I'm a lot more confident in not only my skill set, but I'm able to back up my claims. And that makes the world of difference. However, having said that, what I'm about to share with you is something that you can implement even if you're still striving to sign your very first Google Ads client. So this process will work, but it will take some extra numbers. So when you also accept that getting new clients is a numbers game, you also need to understand that you have to accept that you're going to get far more rejections than you are going to sign clients. So you've got to be mentally prepared for people to reject, say no, or even worse, just not respond. Now, I will admit getting used to that disappointment is hard, but as I said, in order for you to see success in this industry, to be able to build a career where you've got that perfect balance of earning enough income to be able to support the lifestyle that you want with the freedom to be able to travel anywhere in the world, you need to be prepared to accept those no's and those countless no's that will come in daily until you start increasing the amount of times that someone says yes and you get that new client. So now that we know that it is a numbers game and that you also need to be prepared for people to say no to you, I want to take you through that step-by-step process that you need to go through in order to sign your first Google Ads client in 2023. Now, if I was starting in Google Ads today, the first place that I would go to sign new clients is to go to freelancer sites like Upwork, Fiverr, or Freelancer.com. And the reason for why I recommend going to those freelancer sites as opposed to using some cold outreach strategies like cold calling, cold emails, or even reaching out to people in social media channels is because at least with those freelancer sites, you know that you're talking to people who who are currently looking to sign up a new Google Ads freelancer or assign a new Google Ads agency. And the reason for why we know that is that they've taken the time to put an ad up on sites like Upwork. Now, as we go through this process, I'm going to be mentioning Upwork more than the other sites. And the reason for that is because I have seen more success with Upwork when I was going on to these freelancer sites. Now, I don't have any affiliation with them, but as I said, the reason why I personally recommend Upwork is just because I found that I got a higher quality of job on that site as opposed to sites like Fiverr. So apart from knowing that you're talking to people who are currently looking for a new Google Ads manager, the other reason for I recommend to go onto sites like Upwork is because it's another way that you remove risk for the client. Now, remembering, because this is your first couple of clients, you don't have a reputation and you don't have any testimonials. And that reputation and testimonials, it doesn't only speak to your Google Ads skill, but it also lets people know that you're a real person or a real agency and that you're not a fraud or a scam. So by focusing purely on sites like Upwork, you do give the potential client another level of security in taking a risk on you, in that they know that you've gone through the verification checks and also that they are able to check your work before they release those funds into your account. So it is a safer transaction for them, and that's why I'm recommending for you to start finding new clients on a site like Upwork. Now, even though you've got those two factors in place, that one, you're reaching out to someone who is currently looking for Google Ads and they know that you are a real person because you've gone through those verification checks, it is still very much a numbers game. Now, in my early days when I was pushing hard for new clients and I had to use sites like Upwork, I set a rule for myself that every morning before I did anything else, before I looked at my emails, before I looked after any of my current clients or the current projects I was working on, I would not move to any of those tasks until I'd firstly sent out 10 proposals. And then what that meant was that every week I was sending out 50 proposals, and every month I was sending out a minimum of 100 proposals. And I found that that was more than enough numbers for me to be able to sign 1 or 2 clients a month. And to speed up this process, what I did do, along with my CV letter and also my resume, I also had an opening introduction that I would cut and copy into the Upwork proposal. This then meant that the only other thing that I had to do was to answer any specific questions that the client had put into that Upwork application. And now these next 2 steps are the most important. And these are the steps that are going to increase your chances for getting some initial interviews and also closing your first deal. And the first thing that you need to do is that wherever possible, you need to go through and give them extra information. And I don't mean just writing out full answers to the questions they give. I mean going above and beyond. And ways that you could do this is if you find their website, you could go through and do a screen recording on a free tool like Zoom and give 2 or 3 practical ways in that you could target different sections of their website with your Google Ads campaign. Or if you don't have this information about what their website is or what their products are, if you only know the business industry or the niche that they are serving in, you could at least then go through and record a screen share of describing some of the issues or the challenges that you know that they would have in that industry. And the reason for why I like using a screen share is because it not only communicates the effort that you're prepared to put in for their campaign, but it also adds in a personal touch so that they can start to see your personality. And if they like your personality, they're then more likely to even respond back so you can get an interview so that you've got a chance to confirm that sale. And then the second thing that you need to do is that you need to start to add in some extra de-risk strategies for the client. Now, as we've established right from the very start, remembering this is your first couple of clients, so you don't have a big backlog of testimonials or results that you can show them. So in order to help to reduce the risk that the client is feeling, a great way of de-risking the transaction is to be super flexible on your payment plan. And the easiest way to do this is to make it very clear that you're happy to only receive payment after the first 60 days or after you've attained some very clear performance goals. Now, I don't recommend an offering free services, and the reason for that is because you're just starting off the relationship on a really bad foot. And it also communicates that you're not 100% confident in your own services. And this is a great happy medium in that you're removing the risk. So you're saying to the client that you don't have to pay me for the first 60 days, or you don't have to pay me until we've received the first 10 conversions, or until I've achieved a ROAS of over 300% for 14 days in a row. It makes it very, very clear to the client that 1, you're confident in your skills and abilities to be able to get results for their business. And two, you're happy to remove any risk so that they're only paying you for those management fees after you've got some tangible results for their business. And then the other reason for why I like this strategy is because moving forward with this relationship, and obviously because clients are hard to sign, especially at the start of your career, you want to make sure that you're keeping those clients engaged for as long as possible. So what I also recommend is that you also set up, when you're signing up that first client, a 90-day review. And you keep that 90-day or quarterly review going. And the reason for that is it's not only so that you can outline some new strategies for the business moving forward, but it's also so that you've got an opportunity to increase your management fee as your skills increase and also as you're making the company more and more profits. And it just avoids the situation where you can be locked into a low hourly fee or a low monthly fee because you signed up that client at the start of your journey. So the most important steps in those is making sure that you not only de-risk the transaction for the client, as we said, by saying that you don't want payment for the first 60 days or that payment is only made after you reach some very clear performance goals. You're then also de-risking it for yourself by setting up those quarterly strategy reviews so that you can then look to increase your rates further down the track. So remembering to sign your first client in 2023 for Google Ads management, make sure that you're prepared for people to say no. Be very well aware that you're going to be rejected time and time again. The second thing is remember that it's a numbers game. So have a process in place that you're going to be going through and sending out those 10 proposals every day, 50 every week, and over 100 every month. And then with those proposals, remember to go above and beyond. Give them some extra information and also be prepared to record that screen share so that you can explain how you're going to make a difference for that business. And then finally, remember that you need to de-risk the transaction for the client, letting them know that you don't expect payment for that first period, so whether it be 30 or 60 days, or until you've achieved some very clear conversion goals. So those first 10 conversions or that ROAS score of about 300% for that 14-day period. And to help you with this process, because once you've signed your client, you need to make sure that you can actually get them great results. And a way that you can guarantee that you're going to be getting your client great results in 2023 is to follow my Google Ads optimization checklist. And the reason for why this is so powerful is because it lets you know exactly what you need to optimize in your Google Ads account every 72 days, every week, every month, and every 90 days. And to get your free copy today, all you need to do is to follow that link in the description below. I wish you all the best in 2023 for signing a new client, and please let me know when you've implemented these strategies and signed your first client for the year. And to make sure that you know how to optimize your campaigns correctly, I want you to go through and watch one of these two videos. Thank you again. See you next time.